Push it tight. Oh, you'll never the ring around my finger. Push it tight. Oh, you'll never the ring around my finger.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the local cinema. I am your host, Teresa's sweetheart. We are no longer talking about Dream. We are no longer talking about Minecrafters. But we do have a little bit of a face reveal, because that's true, right? You still haven't revealed your face. People don't know who Flashmemories is, right? People haven't seen it before, yeah?
Well, some did, but not everyone.
Not everyone? Okay. Well, we can be the first. Boom. All the way from the Netherlands, we have the one and only Flashmemories. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing? What's up?
Doing fine, thank you. Just finished up some editing earlier today.
Nice.
Yeah, doing pretty well. And how about you? I heard you were sick this morning.
Yeah, no, it's funny because, the last time we spoke, right, you were telling me about how you got sick and couldn't go to underscores.
Right.
So I think this marks
Right.
the first case of a common cold being transferred over Discord. I think this is a brand new revelation. This has never this is an innovation in virus technology, and we have to put a stop to it. No, I'm kidding. But
It's going overseas.
it's going overseas, but specifically via Discord. That's the innovation. They're taking advantage of the internet. But no, yeah, I'm chilling. I'm still kicking. I got off a shift earlier today. And I've just been being, a terminally online
Like we always are.
goober. And that's kind of the question I wanted to ask you. That's kind of where I want to start things. Is do you consider yourself to be terminally online? And
Yes, I do.
okay. So how do you how do you handle it? Because it seems like it's a pretty exhausting thing psychologically. So how do you deal with that?
Well, the thing with Discord is that you can basically go offline while being online. So
Yes.
that's the thing for me. And yeah, how do you handle with it? I mean, I'm just so used to it that I don't know much different a different way of interacting online and being on the computer all day.
So is that how you kind of became involved with all of these online communities that you are involved in? Is this just kind of been a natural thing and you've just sort of always been like that? You've never...
Yeah.
Because I was sort of the opposite. I went through kind of a phase of being kind of antagonistic to online spaces, especially in my teenage years. And only now that I'm trying to do this content thing do I feel like I've really had to dive in. So how... But you've been sort of just existing in that space the entire time, I guess is what you're saying.
That's correct. Well, for me, it started when I was 8 years old, I think.
Damn.
I got my first computer.
Ooh.
But I didn't have any internet at that time, so that's how I got into programming, I think. Just opening MS-DOS on the computer, doing whatever. And I guess it naturally evolved into yeah, just being on the internet all day. I think around 10 years ago, I discovered SoundCloud.
Mm.
That's a big community that I've been following throughout the years. What else do we have? I mean, you have like gaming communities. Um, that's how you start interacting with other people online
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, I think.
Did you ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the YouTuber
Oh,
Marcel Voss?
Marcel? No, I don't know him.
He just does like Roller Coaster Tycoon videos. It's like kind of cute. But it's sort of
Is it
neither here nor
the
there.
old? Is it the old Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yeah, it's the old roller coaster like RCT2 and stuff, like RCT2 and
Oh, okay.
RCT1, and it's like got the isomorphic 2D view. And he's also from the Netherlands, I want to say. So I
Okay.
thought you all might know each other. I'm kidding.
Well, no, I don't know him. Maybe I should know him, but there are a lot of YouTubers in the Netherlands, though. It's a really dense country,
Hmm.
and I mean we have who are the biggest YouTubers? I think Enzo Knol. Um,
No, I mean
yeah, there are.
there's a lot of I mean I guess that's a thing. So we can kind of talk about a couple of different things here, but I guess like yeah, so being in Europe obviously creates for you sort of a proximity to a lot of electronic music. Um
Right.
how did you I guess that's the thing. You talked about how you found out about SoundCloud 10 years ago. So take us from you kind of just discovering SoundCloud to becoming involved with sort of like the sort of the like the underscored and like all of these like hyper pop communities that sort of
Hmm.
and like Goop House and all that stuff. Because that's the thing, you're in a lot of different places.
And that's also pretty recent stuff with the Goop House and Underscored. But I think for me, it didn't really start on the internet per se.
Mm.
I had a lot of friends from high school who were into electronic music. Um, one of my friends actually started throwing raves
Ooh, nice.
near Amsterdam. So at one night we got our bicycles and packed some DJ gear and speakers, and then we just went out in the open to a tunnel somewhere,
Oh, that's
and
so
yeah.
oh, it looks like here, it looks like the stream went down for a little bit. It says it's reconnected now, but the stats are all weird. But anyway, we'll just keep talking. And yeah, because it says it's
Yeah, so
sorry, keep going.
well, it was mostly through my friends that I started listening to electronic music. I mean, the Netherlands already has like a pretty big history with the genre itself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of large festivals are originated in the Netherlands, especially dance music and
Mm-hmm.
hardcore music. Those are two big genres, and I think um, like in America you have EDM, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically like a repackaged rebranding of dance music, like we know dance music in Europe.
Yeah. No, and I guess that's the thing is like because I definitely think of electronic music as being a I don't want to say I think of it as being like a European invention, but it's hard to deny the relationship because even going back with like craft work and stuff like that, like
Hmm.
those kinds of bands, people who were using primarily synthesizers and drum machines instead of other things, like that I think general movement and that sort of general tendency, like I think started in Europe. So yeah, I guess so. What
and
was the?
and it's also,
Or go ahead.
well, it's kind of mainstream over here, so I guess that's also helps, and the fact that there are already generations before our generation who have been experimenting with electronic music and already made it quite popular, um, in a sense
Right.
that it's yeah, being played on the radio and stuff.
No, and I think like, because I mean, there was definitely like underground stuff like going on in America in like the 90s. But yeah, it was underground stuff. You definitely had to be like plugged in. So I guess like okay, so you were sort of like you and your friends were sort of throwing like raves kind of randomly when you were
Hmm.
kids. What was the first like what was the first sort of like online music community that you really got involved in? Like how did that all happen?
I guess that started around the time PC music
Mm.
started popping up on SoundCloud,
Mhm.
um, and through that, uh, radio shows,
Mm.
and those were connected to like you had Coaster Crew and other platforms who through online raves on TinyChat and just have like visuals of roller coasters
Mhm.
while they were playing Nightcore. That was really cool.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, and well, I've been mostly just spectating from the sideline while that scene was evolving. That was around 2015, 2016,
Mm.
I believe.
Mm.
Um, and the thing with Nightcore is that at some point there will be copyright claims and the music will be taken down and stuff.
Mhm.
And that's the reason why I started archiving music, music that got removed or music that's just deleted off the internet,
Ah.
just saving it for myself. So that's how all the archiving stuff really started for me.
Mhm. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like you didn't really think of it as like, oh yeah, I'm like archiving this, I'm like preserving history at first, right? It was more just cuz like you liked the music and wanted to have it.
Right, right. And there were like people who I've been in contact with mostly on Reddit, um, and we would trade like um, audio files with each other.
Mm.
Um, and it wasn't until 2019, I believe, when 100 gags really started popping off,
Mm.
and I made a post on Reddit, just a clip from their Instagram live of the day they had their initial release for 1,000
Mhm. Up, up, we lost
whole
you.
Instagram live.
Say all that again. We lost you.
Where did where did you lost
You
me?
say you said I posted a little snippet on Reddit of 1,000
Right,
gex of the like premiere for the Instagram live.
right. They had like a live countdown on Instagram Live for the album release, and I recorded that on my phone, and I posted a little snippet of it on Reddit,
Mm.
and yeah, people. I believe a few people asked me if I could post it on YouTube, and so I
Mm.
did, and that's how everything started for me. So um, yeah, it was mostly through the 100 gags content that I had, but I've been preserving much more music way before that. So
Mm.
and that and that's also how I know about their come up, the people who were involved in their little bubble scene,
Right.
or whatever you might call it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've always been interested in just people experimenting with electronic music and posting it on SoundCloud. So if you were one of those people who also been following that scene, then it makes sense that you already know a bit about the history or how it's been coming up. Like there were genres or people doing it before they were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have the sea punk scene at one point,
Mm-hmm.
and that went over to the uh, vaporwave communities, and yeah, and that's um, one of the genres that
Oh, okay. Um, that's one of the genres that. What did you say? You got cut off.
PC music has
Hmm.
has been my main interest. The sound that they have been putting out for the past 10 years, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been following that closely up until today, actually. So and yeah, you can say that 100 gags is like adjacent PC music adjacent um, sound or band.
Mm-hmm. No, that's how I found out about 100 gex because I remember AG Cook posted an Instagram story that was like Dylan Brady and Laura Les like standing around a bunch of trucks or something, like a bunch of like
Right.
big semis. And then I found out about the Money Machine music video through them. And yeah, I guess so. I want to ask you what, because I was like a huge PC music stan back in the day. I still won't really shut the fuck up about them. Um, but I never really got to like participate in any of the live events, partly because like I don't know, they weren't really doing a lot of them at first. It was all online stuff, and then like when they did start doing things, it was
And
only in really LA and New York. Both were cities that like I never lived, and I just could never really afford the air travel. So like
right,
like
and they
what
at first they At first, they only did shows in Europe mostly,
no, exactly.
especially during the first few years. So that makes sense for you to, yeah, miss out on that, I guess.
Mhm. But so what about like that sort of like proto hyperpop sound, because I don't really think that hyperpop as people use it now, as people use that word now, really applies to what like AG Cook was doing. Like it almost seems more closely related to like vaporwave and like James Ferraro, especially like the 2012 to 2015 PC music. I think very much so. Almost has, yeah, more in common with vaporwave than it does with 100 gex, and I feel like people use the word hyperpop to describe this sort of 100 gex thing more than they do tracks like Bronze, for instance. But so yeah, what spoke to you about like that sound? What spoke to you about PC music?
Well, I guess their approach to pop music in general and
Mm.
how they're like um, what I don't know they said something like being minimalist and maximalist at the same time
Mm-hmm.
in pop music, and just the way that they presented themselves. I mean, all at first they got a lot of backlash actually, and not a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
were really digging into it. And at the time, you also had like artists like Lunis and Hudson Mohawk
Mm-hmm.
who had the Tonight um,
Yeah.
project.
No, tonight's a banger project.
A- And around that time, trap music was really coming up, especially the electronic music variant of trap music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, what was the question again?
Well, just like
So,
why did you like PC music so much?
yeah, I don't know. It's just the way that they presented themselves, and the the way that their music is so different from um, a lot of other stuff, while also being really poppy and really um, mm, yeah, not trying to be super difficult or super um, IDM type
Yeah.
music, but more with a broader appeal. Like you can make fun music that's simple and that can be fun, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what mostly spoke to me, I guess.
Yeah, no, because I think at the time what made them so interesting for me was because like yeah, at that time, like that sort of like 2012 to 2015 period, because 2015 was when I saw, I think it was actually 2016. That was when I saw the AG Cook South by Southwest DJ set, and I saw the
Oh yeah.
GFOT and I saw the GFOTY DJ set, which like honestly that whole like event I think did a lot to kind of like cement my appeal.
Believe that was for Boiler Room, right?
Yeah, it was the South by Southwest Boiler Room. And like that
Yeah.
performance, I just remember being so like awesome because it was like, yeah, it was like these people who were like DJing, but they were also like in this weird way like making fun of DJing, like especially the GFOTY
Hmm.
set, and like um they were just kind
Just
of
being
like
annoying.
doing things that like they were and then the QT DJ set where she did just like stand there I thought was really good, and like all this stuff. I don't know,
Hmm.
there was just like this really interesting kind of like satirical element to it that was really
Right.
intriguing to me personally, um because everything
And
else
also, yeah.
or go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, it's just like everything else at the time. Like I was listening exclusively to Death Grips. Like when I found out about PC
Okay.
music, like I was listening exclusively to like gnarly music. I was really big into like Aphex Twin and like the deconstructed club stuff. But I was sort of falling out of it, and I think a lot of other. I think there was sort of like there was an opening in the market, so to speak, but really more the landscape, because it's like before that, what did you have? You had Skrillex and kind of all this EDM, like all this spinning records stuff that had been kind of coming out since 2008. And then there was and then in response to that there was, and that music in and of itself was not like it was poppy, and it had like a little bit of a bop to it, but it was pretty like obtuse music, like it was pretty like in your face and pretty much like, oh, like it wasn't, I wouldn't consider it like even dance music, especially like early Skrillex. Like it's kind of like it's club music, but I wouldn't say that it's like, groovy necessarily. And then there was all this Deacon Club stuff, and like people doing like Hudson Mohawk, like people just making kind of all this like weird music. And for me, what PC Music did was they kind of managed to take that like weird electronic music space and fuse it with this like very accessible, very just like instantly hooky and sugary like pop music that also had this really like deep satirical element, at least for me at the time. um
Right, right. Especially the satirical element, and also the way that they kind of went against what the mainstream
mhm
music was doing at that time,
mhm
like being so over the top, um, over the top sounds mashed together, and they went for a more minimal approach,
mhm
and combined with the satirical elements and the pop elements,
mhm
which were, I mean, the music is quite catchy, and it's in a sense it also reminds me a bit of nightcore and
yes
other online music genres.
mhm no
So
100%.
and you can also see in like AG Cook's old playlists on YouTube, whatever he was listening to at the time. So you can see like he made his first nightcore and a few other vaporwave
Mhm
visual videos, and Tim and Eric
yeah
sketches. Like it was all made up of those things together, I guess.
mhm No, the thing that really sold me on it, on honestly on PC Music was I think at some point I read the Wikipedia article and it was talking about how H.E. Cook and Danielle Harrell bonded over a shared appreciation of Tim and Eric Awesome Show, and there was something about how like there was just like all these dots that were like connected for me like through PC
Mhm.
Music, like all these different ideas that I had been thinking about were kind of like connected in this way. And then also, I mean, for me personally, like Sophie was huge. Sophie's product like completely defined my musical landscape for like such a long time. And the craziest thing was like I remember before she came out, like that's the thing. There was all these people talking about how like PC Music was like appropriating like femininity and all this stuff, and how it was just like because I think that was the when there were a couple of like there was that one band, Girls, and then there was a bunch of like, especially in America at least, there was like, all this discourse going on about like, oh, is it okay for like bands that are all dudes to like have a name like Girls and kind of like suggest that like they are like feminine in some way when they like benefit from all this male privilege. And there were critiques of PC Music and Sophie. Um, and then Sophie came out as trans, and so I got to tell all those people to fuck off, and it was really sick. Um, it was really cool. But so okay, so PC Music, and then so at the PC Music time, you were lurking, right? You were not posting, you were lurking. Um,
Right,
and then
and going to their shows.
okay. So did you go to any of the shows in like the Gamsonite era, or did you not know about them at that point?
No, I only knew about them when PC Music started, and that was around 2013.
Hmm.
Went to my first show in 2014, where Danny L. Harrell and Sophie played.
Hell yes.
But at the time, we didn't even knew what Sophie looked like.
Right.
So, so that was also a mystery, in a sense.
Hmm. Did you ever get to see
And
Kane West play?
yeah,
Oh,
recent,
God.
and also the, it wasn't until like a few months ago that I hadn't seen AG Cook at all play, because he never played in the Netherlands for some reason.
Oh, damn. Wait, oh, so it wasn't until like these like 10th anniversary shows that you actually got to see AG Cook like perform?
Right.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
yeah, and I had to flew to London for that. But yeah, he never performed over here in the Netherlands, while Daniel Har did and Sophie did. So
Nice. No, that's interesting. That's funny. So did to get to these shows, so
are you there?
you didn't like you weren't like taking the train to London or anything to like go see them, or you start fly the flying thing happened recently because you're also because nowadays you're like going to Seattle and stuff. Nowadays it feels like you're kind of going all over the place.
Right. Well, I didn't go to Seattle though. That was a video from Umru that I sent you.
Oh.
Um,
Okay, never mind. Never mind. That's the thing.
Umru made that video.
I thought you had been flying all over the place. Okay, never mind.
Oh no.
That changes my line of questioning. Because I was gonna ask where you got all
Uh,
that money from to afford the plane ticket, but now I know that you don't.
I actually went to London by train. So
Excellent. No, we love it. We love that. We love that that infrastructure, that public transit infrastructure. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, so you really are just like some guy online who's like been in the community, who's been long time lurker, then in 2019 you become first time poster, and then when do you start developing this reputation as being the dude who's always recording? Because there's that clip of I think it's I don't know exactly who it is,
Underscores.
but of underscores talking about how like yeah no when she sees you in the chat she just like assumes that you're gonna have it. So when did that reputation start building?
I think pretty quickly, and that's also partly due to the 100 gags come up.
Hmm.
Like they were doing a lot of online events at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that also partly rolled into the COVID area
Right.
pandemic, and the fact that they all did these online live streams
Oh.
and posted them like within a day
Right.
online.
Oh, so you were just posting things quickly.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's and the reason why I was able to do that is because I live in Europe, and by the time the people in America wake up, I already had published the video. So I'm like 6 to 9 hours living in the future.
Right.
So
No, that's cute. So, okay, so you start kind of like I don't know, I guess that's the thing. What is sort of your perspective on kind of like the COVID era and the way that it like influenced music? Because I think that's the thing. Like cuz you I guess that's the thing. When did you start filming live shows? Cuz you've got a couple of videos on your channel from like impact events in Seattle and you have just like a lot of different things on your channel. So is all the stuff that you get is those are those all things that you're like are those all just like live streams that you're able to catch basically or like
yeah, yeah, all of them are live streams. Most of them happen on Twitch.
right.
I also have a few people who um, give me their recordings
Mm.
from live events. Like there was this event that Elena Fortune did, and well, he sent me the recordings for that. And there is this other person who is the owner of the PC Music fan Discord,
Mm.
who I've been in contact with, and we've been sharing material with each other back and
Mm.
forth. Um, so that's how I got the Milkfish set that I posted recently, the DJ
Ooh.
set. And I mean, yeah, at some point when you are not
Oh.
contact you and want to share it with you, so you can share it on your own platform with
Right.
more people.
No, yeah, I just think it's really cool that you've managed to like, yeah, put yourself in all these different places and kind of and
Yeah.
it sort of feels like when I look at like the videos that you've posted, it genuinely feels like you are everywhere. Like it genuinely feels like you are like ahead of the curve on all these things, and that's honestly been like my biggest issue with like navigating online spaces is that there's so much information, and I also have like kind of a hard time like immersing myself in like niches. I'm a very like broad strokes kind of person. So I'm just very impressed by your ability to like, yeah, no, be present for like all of these like random online events that like I will get notifications for and then like forget about them. Like well the like that's the thing,
Right.
the events that have happened in the disc like AFK and
Hmm.
a lot of things like that, like those were that was when I first, and I did see the early PC Music Zoom shows, and that was actually pretty influential to how we kind of like do things over at local cinema. The idea of URL shows being like pre-recorded video sets, um rather than being this thing where like the person actually like plays the music live. That was definitely something they taught me, but like I don't know, it's just so difficult for me to like be in all these places because I'm like too busy like going to work or like being depressed or like all this other stuff. So it's like I'm just very
Oh, right.
impressed by
Yeah.
your ability to like be everywhere.
And I mean, it's also for me, it comes naturally because I'm on SoundCloud like all day, every day. Um, so you start seeing artists popping up in your
Oh,
during the pandemic. Everyone was uh, staying at home,
right. Everyone was staying home.
uh,
Yeah.
and make most of the people were yeah not doing anything, or they started forming like these collectives online on Discord, making music together, and yeah, I think I'm pretty good at remembering people's names, and
Mm.
every time I see something pop up, then I just yeah uh, write it down in a little note, and uh, write some code for recordings, because
Ooh.
I'm not always everywhere all the time.
Right.
It might seem like that, but sometimes I'm sleeping, or just setting up the recording in advance. So
Oh,
I write a
that's
script for that.
wild. Okay. So you are using the power of technology to get all these things. That's
Yeah,
sick.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, mostly. And also with video editing, I do all my well, most of my video editing I do on the command line with FFmpeg,
no
and
fucking way. Shut up. That's so sick. That's wild.
and that's also why I'm able to post everything so quickly, because I already have scripts written to build a video, and I just change the input and publish it immediately afterwards.
Oh, that's so like yeah, there's the one where it's there's that one video you have where it's the underscores wall socket album like video debut, and it's got the screen cap of like the Discord chat in addition to the video, and so like you're saying like all that stuff is made in like FFmpeg.
The Discord community interview I did. Well, I screen recorded that because Discord is still not that reliable with recording every time, and
Hmm.
also the fact that windows fly open, and notifications pop up every
Oh
time, and
yeah.
sometimes people switch over to another screen, or they have a chat pop up. It's with those events, I always have to stay there and follow everything along and edit it afterwards.
Okay.
I can't really the Discord events. I can't really script in advance yet.
Okay, because like yeah, the Electron app interface or whatever is just like not like it's not like you have trouble like the scripts have trouble like managing all the windows and like grabbing the video feeds directly. What's the
Right.
easiest platform to do that with? Is it Twitch? Is it YouTube? Is it like
Yeah, Twitch.
Twitch? Yeah.
Twitch, YouTube as well. But the thing with YouTube is that um, they can take your video down midstream,
Oh.
and that's really annoying. So most of the people shifted away from streaming on YouTube Live or
Mm.
Facebook Live or whatever, and
Mm.
Twitch does their intellectual property copyright um, scanning after the stream is done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that is true. They wait until, yeah. No, because that's the thing. Sometimes when we do streams, we like play, I don't know, that's honestly Twitch's saving grace, I feel like, is that it only mutes audio for the VOD. Like it doesn't fuck with it or like mute it while it's live. Unless I imagine if you were streaming like the entirety of like the movie The Joker or something like that, like I'm sure that would get taken down pretty quickly. But for I really
Right.
appreciate the way that Twitch kind of like works in that sense.
Or other violations of their terms of service, like
Yeah,
nudity or just weird stuff.
yeah.
They will take it down pretty quickly. But when it comes to music, that's mostly just being scanned afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
and still you can grab the full audio within 24 hours after the stream from their servers.
Oh, like unmuted?
Unmuted, yes.
Whoa. Okay, we're gonna have to chat about that. You're gonna have to tell me how that works, because that's so sick.
Okay.
Um, there was one thing I wanted to ask, but I forgot what it was. So I guess just keep talking in that sense while I remember what I was gonna ask, because I feel like
About the recordings I have, or I mean, I've been recording so many shows for the past 3 years. I think I have over 300 URL shows, URL fests.
no, that's
All the
that's super
all the
sick.
artwork and all the artists that have played. Um, but it's uh, yeah, it's a lot of work to do that. So I'm also trying to automate that. So it grabs the artwork from Twitter or the announcement tweet, and all the artists, or it scans the posters
Mm.
for the artist names with OCR, and
Whoa.
then put them in a database for me.
You're absolutely insane. That's so wild. That's
I
so
can show you.
wild. Yeah, show me.
I have. Well, I'll send you a link for that.
Yeah. That's absolutely insane. I mean that does kind of make me like that does kind of I think make me feel a little bit better, because I was kind of worried. I just was kind of worried like oh like how terminally online is this kid? Like what is he what is he doing? But no, the fact that you've got like these scripts and that you've automated certain things and that there's kind of like a procedure to it, and you're not just like constantly hunched over your computer constantly. I mean, it sounds like you are regardless, but the fact that you're not, I don't know,
Yeah,
it makes
but
it feel a
I
little
can
bit
still leave.
healthier.
I mean, I can still leave my house and start recording remotely on my computer as long as I have my phone with me.
No.
I've sent you a link though. That's a little draft for a database I've been working on.
Oh yeah.
With all the events that I've been recording and also all the artists that have performed during those events. So you can also search by artist name, and if you click on them, you'll see which events they have been playing online and have been recorded
Can
by me.
I show these documents on stream a
Yeah,
little bit?
sure.
Because I think they're kind of sick. Let me make sure that it's gonna actually show up
Supposed to be
right.
public, but it's not. It's not finished yet. But with everything that I do, I just try to make it public for everyone to go through and do whatever with.
Okay, I accidentally did something. All right, hold on. Now we're going to fade into this. So yeah, no, because that's the thing. This Notion thing is because that's the thing. I've been trying. People have been telling me to get into Notion for a while, and I've resisted it because I don't like the idea of task management. That's just not really like how I do things. But I think I'm at the point now where I do kind of have to just like, where I do kind of
Well,
have
I've
to
been
just
using
like
it
do
mostly as a database because at first I had Airtable, and that's like basically a spreadsheet on steroids with extra functionality. But I've been hitting their data cap every time. Whenever I make a new account, there are like only 2,000 data points that I can add, and then I have to purchase a subscription or something. And yeah, I just got everything out of Airtable and put it in Notion for now. But I'm trying to work on a website that uses a database for that. That's much quicker. But this is something I've just been experimenting with, and it's public for people to look at and go through. And if they want to see anything, it should link to the video uploads as well, or on other channels could also
right.
link them. And I mean, it's not only for my own channel. I've been doing stuff for other people as well.
Yeah.
With videos that I posted myself on other channels. Like you can make other people a manager on your channel,
Right.
and there were like a handful of channels that did that with me, so I could publish my videos on their channels.
Ooh. No,
So if you go through,
that's incredible. No, it's just like I don't know. It's like there really is like the amount of like infrastructure I guess that you've put into this is just like very impressive, and the way that you've been like just kind of like because that's the thing. There's a lot of stuff I think that you'd like expect to see on here, but then there's also I think things that are a little bit more like underground, like a lot of the user fest stuff, or Club Lucid and things like that. Like we actually did an interview with Club Lucid way back in the day, and I
don't think they are active anymore right now, but they used to have a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Few years ago.
No, exactly. No, and it's just like really, it's just really interesting.
You can also search by artist, and I mean, if an artist wants to have their own recording for a specific show, they can just put their name, in the search.
A G
I don't know if you can find it.
No, I found it. I'm searching it right now. If you look on the stream, I'm doing a little search.
Oh yeah.
AG music. Okay, I meant. Yeah, and then Smith Fang, Aiden, right with Crown. Yeah, no. No, it's just I don't know. It's very fascinating cuz you have in your YouTube description the thing about lost media, and I guess and this concept of like flash memories, as in like these things that like appear very briefly and are kind of ephemeral.
Right.
And
Modern
then
digital art.
yeah. And then there's also sort of the fact that yeah, no flash memory like on a USB stick and like all these kinds of things. So there's kind of like a lot of connections that you're drawing there. And I guess like I guess in your mind, yeah, what is the point of like archiving all this stuff? Like why are you doing it? What value do you think this adds to culture at large to just like have all this crazy shit out here? Because a lot of the people,
Um,
because you were telling me in when we were talking in DMs that like, yeah, a big that you sort of make a point of uploading things that like the author doesn't upload, or like the person, like things that would genuinely be lost, and a lot of like the stuff that you do upload isn't necessarily like the people who are organizing it, either because they're like just not thinking about it or because they don't want to, like they're not
well,
preserving it. So like what motivates you to preserve it?
the fact that they don't do it,
Right.
that's mostly that's mostly the thing. With a lot of things I record, I usually give the original um, streamers or original artists uh, some time to publish it by themselves. And if they don't do it, then I'll do it.
Has anyone ever asked you to take something down?
Only to three artists, but one of them was I'm not going to say any names though, but
Oh yeah, no, don't do
uh,
that.
because the visuals of that set had um, like they were in the visuals of their set, but it was pre-transition, so
Oh yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
have that online anymore. Um, and yeah, but basically everyone else is just really positive, and it also helps them to expand their reach and get
Mm-hmm.
new listeners for their stuff, their music.
Mm. No, I that's the thing is I was like I think that there's a lot of value to what you're doing, and I think especially given the time period that we're in now, we are sort of past the point of the internet being this kind of like space that doesn't really exist. Because I don't know if you, I don't, because yeah, you said, you've been on the computer since you were 8 years old, et cetera, et cetera. Like in like really early internet, and this is even before my time, but like the internet in 2001, or like sort of very early YouTube, like, and then there's also like yeah, early like 4chan days and stuff like that. Like back then, people really the boundary between the internet and real life was very very different. The internet was almost popular because it wasn't connected to reality. Like the point was that things could happen on the internet that couldn't happen in real life, and unless you were there, nobody would really know about it necessarily. Now the internet is very different. There's kind of this like big there's a lot of like data collecting apparati, there's a lot of like, and a lot of these
Hmm.
conversations about like privacy, blah blah blah, and all these things are sort of happening now, and the idea of the internet as being this ephemeral place is, I think, kind of shifting. I think we're shifting away from that, and we kind of do just view the internet as like part of ordinary life. Like it's not an extraordinary place. It's just It's just normal now. So I think given that it is normal now, it kind of doesn't make sense to have this sort of like, are you familiar with the phrase "don't tap the glass"? And like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I don't think it makes sense to have this kind of like don't tap the glass attitude, like don't tell anybody attitude about internet stuff anymore. I think the internet just is a public space now.
But also the thing that people have with feelings of nostalgia,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's also shifted from something you've kind
Oh,
of be something from last year that you've been feeling nostalgic for, and um, that is a feeling that a lot of people experience and are interested in, I think.
yeah, no, there's sort of like you mean like it's people kind of develop nostalgia or longing for things on kind of like a much shorter time scale.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I would agree, and I think that's the thing. The pace at which internet culture moves is, I think, difficult for people to wrap their head around. Which that's the thing. That's the question I wanted to ask you. Right? Is like part of what impresses me so much about like you and the work that you're doing is precisely the fact that yeah, you are able to like navigate all these online spaces and when I look at the internet, I am like immediately overwhelmed with like I don't know, there's that AG Cook song called 2021 and it's like everything you
Hmm.
do has been done before and like I am immediately especially as an artist myself like I am trying to make meaning out of my life. I am trying to sort of make something for myself. So when I look at the internet, it feels very overwhelming to me. I'm sort of reminded, almost in a cosmic sense, of like my own insignificance, you know? And so what impresses me about you being able to be in all the places that you're in is that A, not only are you able to like parse a lot of these discourses that are happening, you're also able to just kind of exist without seemingly developing like a whole lot of like existential dread. So I guess the question I want to ask you is like how do you like understand what the internet like is? Like how do you learn to see the internet as like this land of opportunity instead of like this reminder that like you are not special?
Hmm.
Does that
That's
question make
a tough
sense?
question.
Does it make
Yeah, it
sense?
makes sense.
Okay.
Mm, just being genuine, I guess.
Mm.
For the past few years, people have been going really after doing numbers or cloud, um, and I don't really care about that much. I just like to listen to cool new stuff, and if I can spot something that has a genuine feeling for me,
Mm.
then I'll tap into that and I'll support that. But I don't really like to go chase the numbers or look at what's popular or because everyone else is already doing that,
Right.
and most of the things that are pushing boundaries and be yeah, innovating in a sense are the people who um, are um, yeah, they just don't really care about those numbers as well. This is just their creative expression, and that's the purest form of yeah, creativity that I think can happen.
Right.
Um,
No, exactly. I think
and
a lot of the people that are really innovating are not or are not
they don't really
popular.
care about right, and they don't really care about that. It's just their way of dealing with their life or dealing with the things that they go through. through their creative expression. And I think having a background in going to art school as well and being an artist, I think I can recognize that much easier than someone else, maybe.
Right. Okay, so that's the thing. Talk about your own personal relationship to art. Like, you said, okay, so what did you go to art school for?
I studied game design and development,
Ooh, okay, that's why
so I
you
made
have all these,
games.
that's why you have all that hacking knowledge. That's why you got all the programming skills. Okay.
Right. We had to do a lot of programming, uh, but I went to the Utrecht School of Arts where I did game design and development. Finished that. Now I have a BA in art and technology,
Nice.
as well as an engineer title. Worked as a software engineer for a while. Um, Worked on a few games. Developed with various game engines, stuff for Xbox Live or whatever for the
Okay.
Nintendo DJ Mix in Ableton.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
pre-recorded.
Nice.
But yeah, that is my first endeavor into the music, mostly by doing it myself then.
Nice.
And I also I joined a collective called 909 Worldwide,
Nice.
and they've been really supportive from the very start of my channel.
Hell yes. No,
I've
909,
covered
909's chill.
Yeah, I've been covering their very first festival right after I published the gags content. So the first three videos after doing only gags content were from Alice Gas and Andrew Goes to Hell, Pedal Supply.
No, I mean,
So yeah,
go ahead.
I've been following their creative endeavors for a while. Actually linked up with 99 Jakes at some point
Nice.
online, and we've been chatting about music for hours and hours.
Hell
And
yes.
that's how that whole link up happened.
No, that's the thing.
So
That's the thing. Jade, I know you saw that email. You responded to that email. You said you were going to come on the stream. Come on the stream. Tell her to come on the stream. Bother her about it. I will send you a screen cap of the email and of her responding to it so that you have proof that she saw it. And then you can be like, "No, go
Right.
on the stream."
Right. I already said it to her, but she couldn't remember. So
yeah, no, that's hogwash. I know you saw it. I know you saw it. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah, no, but that's okay. So that's cool that you're getting into music. What kind of music are you trying to make right now? Is it just are you or you said you're just doing DJ mixes, right? Do you want to get into production eventually?
are what interests me most right now.
Say
And
that
also,
again. Say that again. You got cut out.
I think mixes for now are my main interest. Also, a few organizers from URL fests or virtual music events organizers have been reaching out, wanting to have me do a set for their show. So if they want to and they ask me, then I'll do it. So
Ooh, okay.
that's how I started it. Basically, the first set I made was for this event called Buell Fest. It was a fundraiser event for uh, uh, let me see, for people with autism who needed a care dog, or how do you say that in English?
No, I mean that's like that communicates the idea, like people with supporting like people with autism and like caretakers and stuff like that,
Right.
and helping
Yeah.
people with autism get resources that they need, etc., etc.
Right. And the most of the URL fests have been that I've been collaborating with or helping organize were all fundraisers for either people from the community, LGBTQ community,
Mhm.
trans people, immigrants,
Mhm.
um, yeah, basically minorities who needed help, and I've been mostly supporting that.
Mm. No, that's the thing.
So and I also don't make any money of anything I do.
Right. No, because I think that's kind of the thing that's been the most interesting about like my own perspective on like music and art has like kind of shifted as I've started trying to like pursue a career in music more seriously. And like I have a
Hmm.
couple of different like random projects that are sort of out and about, right? And local cinema is one of them. And yeah, what I think has sort of made it's taken me a while to realize how much like envy and like jealousy I have of like other people, and how I view like their and how like I'm very much into like when I listen to someone else's track, it depends on like how much I personally enjoy the track, but especially if it's a track that like I don't really think is that interesting, but it has like billions of plays and all this stuff. It really does like get to me. I'm like, "Oh man, like if this can have so many plays, then like why don't like why does my music not have blah blah blah, and like
Yeah, there are a lot of people like that.
trying to like unlearn that and really just sort of focus on like, yeah, no, connecting with people and like sharing sort of this love of music has been like a very powerful tool in like combating that envy, especially because and it's really interesting because like, yeah, especially back in the day, like my whole point was like I was one of those like DIY people. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just out here. I'm making real music. Like I don't give a fuck." And like now I find myself so torn up over like really trivial things. So it's been like I don't know, and I think seeing people like you and to a certain extent like seeing people in like discords and whatnot, and like going out to shows and like meeting people like even like DJ Chain Wallet, who like, yeah, was just sort of this person I heard about online, and then like I met them and they're just like, a really down to earth like chill person. Like doing a lot of those experiences have been really helpful for kind of like unplugging myself from this clout based mindset.
Because it isn't. And a lot of people think it's just a competition, but really it isn't.
Mhm.
It is. Um, yeah, to some people it is, and you can't really blame them because there's. I mean, there's money involved. There is exposure involved,
Mhm.
and there are a lot of people who only do music because of that.
Mhm.
Um, but if you are a true creative and a creative person, you'll make something regardless.
Mhm.
Don't really chase the numbers or go after a lot of listeners. You just do it for yourself, and yeah,
No, it's
maybe it's the focus, shifting the focus a bit towards yourself, and not really caring a lot about what other people do, or comparing yourself too much to what other people do.
No,
And I see it a lot of on my YouTube channel as well, especially with the Jane Remover videos. Like that, at some point there were a lot of people commenting like, I'm gonna quit music. I'm never gonna be this good, and um, yeah, I mean, don't give up. It's just
right.
um, yeah, you can't really compare it in that sense.
Well, and there's also so much, and I feel like you know, having seen kind of all of the ways, having sort of been following the scene for as much as you have, I think there's a lot about like there's a lot of times where people sort of arrive at the spot that they've arrived at, and it's not really because of like a lot of it really is like circumstantial, and that's kind of the thing to really understand, especially like, you know, I think about Umru a lot, right? And I think about Umru's relationship to AG Cook, and I think about like kind of like the way that AG Cook sort of like put him on, and I think about how like yeah, it's just like a lot of it is very like circumstantial, and a lot of the people who find themselves in these sort of these bigger platforms, like, and this goes, and I mean Umra is kind of like on the smaller end of things, like, you know, fucking Beyonce or whatever, right? We can talk about Beyonce, we can talk about like Taylor Swift, like these people have found themselves in this position not just because of like they aren't necessarily self-made. There are like these whole communities of people, and this whole ecosystem has kind of like developed around them. And what I think is so cool about especially what's happened with like the PC music fandom is that it now kind of like there was that channel in the disc, the high quality stems channel,
Hmm.
and then from there was the high quality remixes channel, and it's sort of evolved into this like all these producers like kind of like sharing their tracks with each other, and just all these people that are like, and that's such an interesting development to me, because I felt like at first like PC music really wasn't trying to kind of like do that. Like it didn't really feel like there was a lot of spaces for like the crowd to like interact with the music, but now I think they've sort of accepted like, oh, it doesn't really like belong to me anymore. It's kind of like it kind of belongs to the community now, and I think that's a really cool like transition.
And I think that's partly also because of Umru. I mean,
Mm.
if it wasn't for Umru and Open Pit and the Minecraft shows,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have 1,000 gags. I mean, Umru asked Dylan and Laura to perform as 100 gags, and
Mm-hmm.
then they made the first few tracks for what we now know as 1,000 gags.
Right.
So, and also behind the scenes, like Umru is like a really important person um, for connecting the right people with each other, and
Mm.
uh, yeah, he's also been really supportive of the channel, of my channel,
Oh yeah.
um, and have been sent
Oh.
uh, since like the very beginning. So yeah, I've been really grateful for his support, and also what he does for the scene, and I really look up to yeah, to what he does. And I mean, for outsiders or people who not really familiar with the scene, it might look like AG just um, got somebody off of SoundCloud and signed them to his label, but Umro has been really like one of the I think one of the biggest influences in how PC music has shifted over the years, and
Mm-hmm.
how their stance is towards um, uh, yeah, being relevant up until today, and the online events like the Club Quarantine
Mm-hmm.
Zoom shows, or the ARG style Apple Guild, the Disc
Yeah.
ARGs. Those were also because of Umru. Umru directed or helped with most of those.
Right. No,
So
I
yeah.
definitely remember like, and I think that's the thing, right? Is it's like obviously like people definitely need to be like given opportunities, but at the same time there's no reason to kind of downplay the work that somebody has done. And I think that kind of is what's so impressive about PC music in general, in particular AG Cook and like yeah, Umru as well, is that like yeah, no. I remember just being very like personally influenced by the way that AG ran PC Music, and there were so many things that he did with the label that I thought were like that I just thought they were like so like cool and interesting and kind of like a little bit subversive. Like it sort of felt like he was doing things and he was presenting the music in a way that like a lot of other he was just like very modest, and I feel like he could have done a lot more like plastering of his name everywhere and all this stuff, but he didn't really do
Mm.
that. And then yeah, Umru, I mean, as far as I will say, Umru, when I saw the Umru like DJ set a couple days ago, because he played it was the last show of the tour with Pedal Supply, and that DJ set like was actually phenomenal. Like it's been a while since I've seen a person like actually DJ and like do all these kind of like cool effects, and so I could definitely feel like I don't know, the commitment to the music and like commitment to the tracks and stuff. And like
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's super sick that he's been like helping out with your channel and all this
I mean,
stuff and like
we're all just really similar in that sense that we are just terminally online people.
right. Yeah.
And AG is as well. I mean, if you look at the things that he has done throughout the years, and even before PC music was a thing, like he had multiple YouTube channels together with Daniel Horrell, and
Mm-hmm.
they just goofed around online and yeah, had all these weird projects. I mean, I think they are also just really into that stuff
No, and I mean it's
and really tapped in the in online world in that sense.
no, and it's one of those things that I think is definitely like a little bit difficult. Like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can be like, oh, this person is just rich, or oh, this person is just blah blah blah, and it's like yes, obviously like having resources like helps you engage with these things, but like I said, there's plenty of people with resources who don't put in the work. There's plenty of people with privilege who do just sort of like rely on it wholesale. And what's been so cool about like watching like what's been so cool about PC music is that yeah, it was just good. It was just like genuinely like I think very interesting at the time, and I think they were doing a lot of things in I think there was a comment on the 10th anniversary like mix video that was like yeah, no, PC music like genuinely like shook up the scene, I think, in kind of like a big
Hmm.
way. And I think they're very, I mean, it's like, yeah, no, people don't shut the fuck up about the word hyperpop anymore. Like they created this genre and like all this stuff, and like all of the people in it are now
That's
like doing all
Spotify.
these different things, and like it's just very, it's just like, yeah, no, obviously like yes, no, it would be great if like we lived in a world where like resources were more equitably distributed, but at the same time I'm not
Right.
going to let the fact that oh, I'm not the one in the driver's seat necessarily like shake my faith in like these scenes. And I don't want to let my envy like destroy my enjoyment of these things that have inspired me. And I think that's something that is like, at least for me, it's something that I have to work very like deliberately on. I think there are other people, and I definitely, I've got my own, mental issues, et cetera. But I think it's something that, like, yeah, no, the one constant through it all has really been the love of music. And, like, I don't know, I just hope my real goal is that, yeah, at some point I hope that I can just share, that love of music with more people. And I think that's kind of what I find really interesting about you is, like, yeah, is how you've managed to find a way to do that, that not only shares your love of the music with people, but also manages to uplift the creators around you, and kind of, like, give back to the community in a way. So I think that's very
Yeah,
cool.
to give them a platform
Mm-hmm.
to shine. And I mean, what's great music without an audience?
Mm-hmm. No,
So
exactly.
and also I think of what I see online with new artists who are genuinely interested in exploring the boundaries of what is capable in yeah in their music. Um, it sort of reminds me of how I like to look at things.
Mm.
So that's something that speaks to me whenever I see it, and I like to give those people a platform to.
This part we're gonna I'm gonna call it. This has been such a wonderful conversation. Thank you for taking the time to
Yeah,
come on here and let me pick your brain about all this stuff. Um,
yeah, we can go at it another time as well. I can
yeah.
show you a few things that I've been uh, developing, programming, writing code.
No, excellent. No,
If you're interested in that.
we definitely should, because, like, I'm trying to turn this stream into something that, I'm trying to find, a little niche and sort of, create, give platforms to people that I also don't think get enough attention, or maybe kind of highlight different stories, and instead of
Yeah,
just interviewing, like, the big artist, right? I'm much more interesting in kind of finding, in kind of touching base with, like, sort of people like you, I guess, who are
yeah,
kind of
or
doing
graphics Genesis
yeah,
interview.
yeah. No, I'm very interested. I'm much more interested in getting, like, sort of, like, a different kind of perspective. Where can
Right, and we
people?
should get Jade on your channel as well.
Yes,
So
no, email. Okay, all right. Where can people find you?
people can find me on YouTube. It's youtube.com at Flash Memories, and or just Flash Memories anywhere, all the socials.
Mm-hmm. No, and we've got the Instagram handle on the screen, the underscore Flash Memories. Um.
Right, and on Twitter it's the underscore at the end.
Oh, okay. All right. And so, yeah. Once again, thank you so much for coming on. And thank you to the
Thank
viewers
you for having me.
for tuning in. This marks yet another episode of Local Cinema, and this VOD will be up